Hey, welcome back. We're on location this morning, live in Raleigh on Talk of the Town. It's our annual Live at the Legislature program, and we've had a great morning here this morning talking about what's going on here in the 2016 short session of the legislature. We got another great guest coming up. Before we bring him on, let me say thanks to our sponsors again this morning: Potash Corporora, the Overton Group, Sam Jones Barbecue, Culpepper Investments, Wells Fargo Advisors, Greenville Auto World, and the North Carolina Hospital Association. And now, live here in Raleigh with me is the Speaker of the House, Speaker Tim Moore from the House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, thank you much. I know you and the governor just had breakfast together and had to do some adjusting to your schedule to be here, so I really appreciate your time. How are you?
We're doing well. We're glad to be here. I noticed you guys were talking about me a little bit ago as I was over there on the phone.
He was saying positive things.
Well, that's good.
I
saw both of you looking at me, and I got a little paranoid just for a minute. I wasn't sure what was happening.
He was talking about how you were over there cutting deals on the telephone.
There you go.
It's deal cutting time, isn't it? This is the time when the budget, you're trying to finish the budget. You've got your conference committee doing the work now, and there's a lot going on, and I know you want to try to get out of here by June 30th. I was over there visiting with some of your folks earlier this week, and I heard the new date is we're trying to get out by July 4th, and then I heard, well, we might not get out by July 4th, so where do you think it's going to go?
I feel confident we'll be out by September 1st.
That's not good. That's not good, Mr. Speaker. I mean, is there that much stuff still left to be done?
Not really, but it makes for more interesting media.
Yeah. So the hot topic.
We're making great progress.
Yeah.
We're working through the budget. We actually are not that far apart. We're getting very close, and I would expect, absent something kind of unforeseen, that we should be able to have a budget done possibly at the end of next week, if not the following week. So we are, I would say in all candor, we are on track to be out before July 4th.
This is the point where the House has its version of the budget, the Senate has its version of the budget, the governor did his original budget. When you get in, you try to get everybody into a room and into the conference committee. Take us inside that room. What's that like when you get inside the room? Is there good camaraderie? Is there tension? How does that work?
Well, it depends how long we're in the room. It's like, I don't know. It's if anyone who's listening has ever gone to buy a car, it's kind of like that, except the negotiations go on for days at a time.
Yeah.
And instead of a car, it's trying to come up with a $22 billion budget. And every now and then you'll get snarled over some little particular funding item that may be $100,000 and out of a $22 billion budget. And that can stop things for a few hours if there's a strong philosophical argument one way or the other. But most of it flows through pretty smoothly. I was there for part of the meetings yesterday with the budget chairs, and it was going through quite well. The issues that are always the toughest have to do with education funding,
yeah,
and with health and human services. Those are the biggest parts of the budget, and there's so many programs there. That's where a lot of the discussion has to occur.
We've talked a lot this morning with some of the legislators and the governor about teacher salaries, and North Carolina's had exponential growth in teacher salaries in the last 3 years, fastest growth in the country. I know not everybody agrees with the direction, but most of that seems to be politics. This protest we had yesterday turned into about anything but education, and it was supposed to have been a group from the NCAE. But, I think the school teacher salaries, government, state workers' salaries and benefits, are those the big issues on the table right now?
They are the big issues. And, with this, after this budget, average teacher pay in North Carolina will be $50,000 a year. Now, of course, average means some make more and some make less. But that's what the average pay would be when we go through the plan that we have. That's huge. That's huge in North Carolina. We're also trying to take care of our state employees. We proposed in the House budget a 2% raise. We may not be able to get the Senate fully there, and so we may have to back off of that a little bit. But, those are things we're going to do. The other thing that never gets talked about is the cost to the state in terms of the health insurance. Everyone out there who's paying for their own health insurance has seen dramatic increases due in large part to Obamacare and these federal mandates. Well, the state is continuing to absorb some huge health insurance costs. Now, the media doesn't talk about it. It's not particularly interesting from a political standpoint, but it's critical in the sense of our jobs as being the fiduciaries for the state. And the fact that we're able to not have to pass along those costs this year to state employees that's huge. That's like a raise in and of itself.
Of course, we're always up here tugging at you about the Brody School of Medicine and funding for our med school. And I have to say that you have always been there for us. You have always been very supportive. You came down and toured Vidant Medical Center this past year. We're in the Heart Center. You've taken the time to learn about how important that is to the eastern part of the state, and we appreciate your support of that. I know you have so many other issues, and everybody in the state has their own things, but it's great to know and comforting to know that you and others in leadership kind of understand what that means to eastern North Carolina.
Well, you're kind to say that, and you're correct with respect to the importance of the Brody School of Medicine and of Vidant Healthcare. It's, the old, and we've talked about this before, about the old division. North Carolina used to be East versus West, right? Well, now maybe that applies to barbecue. and actually, I think both are good.
Well, Sam Jones Barbecue is one of our sponsors, so just want to,
then you need to take
and that is not Western barbecue, but I promise next time you're in Greenville, I'll take you
every
there.
time I come to Greenville, for the record, for your listeners, Henry has yet to buy my lunch, just so you'll know.
That is not true. That is not. Well, it's against the law for me to buy your lunch.
That may be actually. So then you may want to say that is true. Henry.
Actually, it is true. It is true.
So we'll go have barbecue there, and of course Overton's, one of your sponsors, is great. My kids enjoy a float every weekend that they ride on the boat. So
this is the Overton group, which is Michael Overton, the son of Parker Overton, who started Overton's, but he's part of that group, that's for sure.
Well, but the old divide used to be East versus West, but really now it's our urban areas. We're here in Raleigh right now, and you can walk outside this building. You can see scaffolding, you can see cranes, you can see a lot of construction. Greenville's doing well, but you go outside of Greenville, you get outside of Pitt County.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of times not a lot's happening. Well, it's the same in western North Carolina in our rural counties.
Yep.
And so one of the challenges that we see and that we want to address is making sure that the economic development progress we're seeing in the urban areas is spread to the rural areas. So that's why you see some of the tax policies we've done, some of the economic development initiatives we've done, and they're actually starting to pay dividends.
Well, listen, we're out of time, but it's been great having you. We appreciate all you do. You've become an honorary Eastern North Carolinian because we've seen you down there in Greenville and down you've become a beach guy, heading down to Carteret County. We love all that about you, Mr. Speaker.
It's all good.
Yeah, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Tim Moore, the Speaker of the House here.